So I'm surprised to hear that heroin is such a big issue.
It goes back to the way things been going on around the country, and I mean it's a major problem within the country. Heroin use, not just within the country but alongside the border. We're borderline with Mexico, so
You import heroin from Mexico?
yeah, they import it from Mexico. It's affected the community. It's affected our lives. Me, for example, going. I mean, I wasn't a heroin user, but my brothers were, and one of my brothers passed away over it. It's just not my life, Other people along the border as well, and of course, it increases the violence in the border area.
Have you tried heroin before?
Yeah, I've tried it. I've experimented with it. I didn't like it, and then to see going to prison, coming back, seeing how it destroyed my brother's life, and pretty much not because I was using it, but my mom and everything. She would sell it, and then she started using it for a while too. So, I mean, my whole family went to ruins over it. I mean, that kind of like gives me the incentive not to do it.
Wow, that's powerful stuff right there. Like, how do you? I mean, when you see other people in America growing up, they live much more sheltered lives. How do you compare yourself to that, or how do you perceive that even?
I'm not unique in any way. I mean, I'm not the only person going through this. I mean, I'm pretty sure a lot of families have been impacted by all that. The drug business and all that, especially where I'm from. But versus seeing other families, other communities, and the way that they don't have to go through all that, it's just, I guess, the life they were destined to live. I mean, I'm like
what?
The life they were destined to live, right? Like, I mean, God put us here for a reason, and this is what I got. Like when you play a poker game, this is my hand, but it's still my choice how I want to play it, right? I mean, when I was young, growing up, I took that differently. Now, I mean, I don't want it to carry on to my family, to my girls. I don't want them to go through all that. So, and it's sad, and it affects me. I don't want my girls. I don't want them to live in that kind of atmosphere. And I mean, I know I've been away for a while, but it's just like I can't go back and undo all that, right? I mean, being away from them, but I am here today, and I still got this hand. And
so you don't think it's a social issue? You think it's like God meant it to be that way, and we have to make the most out of what we are dealt?
Okay, not to say that God wants us to be heroin addicts, but this is how it is now. This is where we were born, and this is where we're at, and this is what we got to live with. But I mean, it takes a lot of positive figures, I would guess, to kind of change all that. Just not starting with my family, but all around. All around.
Do you think state institutions like school or counseling or social workers could have an impact? Is that something that's happening, or would you prefer if more of that happened, if the state, the government got more engaged with families like yours and those around you?
Yeah, I mean, schools are involved with situations like that, trying to prevent drugs from being in school and stuff, but I don't know that the government should target a specific family or something like that. I don't know what that would be like, because I've never seen something like that. My daughter right now, my oldest one, she's 12. I mean, I try to encourage her not to not to do bad, right? To stay in school, pursue her education, do something with herself, and I don't want you growing up depending on a man to support you when you could go to school, go to college, and have a degree for yourself.
How do you think she can manage to extract herself from that environment that you grew up in and that your brothers became victim of with their drug addictions and the general violence that shaped your life or their lives or the lives of people around you?
Well, it's America, right? This is the States. Pretty much there's drugs everywhere. I'm from Laredo. I grew up in Laredo. It's not a big city, but it's a city. And well, my girls don't live in Laredo. Not to say that they're not in an environment where they're not close to drugs, but I mean that has a lot to do with it too. I mean, and well, I plan on staying out and being a part of their lives and making sure that they don't take that route. Watch the caution signs and stuff like that. I don't.
And what is, you said one of your brothers died from a combination of methadone and alcohol, and the other one is a drug addict living with your mother, right? What makes, like, how are you different that you didn't follow their example?
I guess being locked up. I mean, I have experienced drugs and stuff, and my brothers have been locked up too, but I don't know. I guess it's just my drive that I want to do good. I want to be out. I don't want to keep going. And if I'm using drugs, I know that's the end of the road. Going back to prison. That's where you're gonna head to.